Many of the reasons I believe so many find it difficult to forgive is because there's an implication that comes along uh, with forgiveness, which is to either simply let something go or let something slide. Also, there's many different definitions and misconceptions about forgiveness. So one of the keys is to define what forgiveness means to you. Here's a definition that I found that I thought was pretty decent. Forgiveness, a planned, purposeful, continual decision to give the universe or God the feelings you carry of resentment or vengeance toward a person, regardless if they ask for it or not. Once you decide to work on sending your negative emotions, thoughts, feelings along, you can now work on forgiving yourself and those who offended you. The gift of understanding, compassion, kindness, and mercy. So basically, I'd like to mention a quick 4 points before going into my 5 points of the journey of forgiveness. Number one, acknowledge that you do not own any of your offender's decisions, but do acknowledge how their decisions have negatively affected your behavior, your thoughts, and the person you have become or are becoming. Realize that they made the decision to violate themselves, which in turn violated you. However, it's up to you now to continue and violate yourself by holding on to rage, resentment, anger, vengeance, and so on. 2, accept that you cannot change the past. No matter how much you wish what happened could be reversed, it's time to admit to yourself that your anger toward the person won't rewind, redeem, or undo what they have done, and is only creating bitterness within you and affecting your life. These thoughts of resentment, anger, and hatred will disempower you if you continue and let them occupy space in your head. So if you work to release them, you would create more peace within you. Number 3, it's important to emphasize that forgiveness does not involve excusing the person's actions, forgetting what happened, or tossing justice aside. Justice and forgiveness are not mutually exclusive. You can do your best to understand someone's behavior and even love them as a human, but still want and be okay with and even seek disciplinary or corrective action. And number 4, forgiveness is not the same as to reconcile. Reconciliation, or as some people call it, rebuilding a relationship with the person who hurt or betrayed you, is a negotiation in which 2 people come together to work on earning trust. So you may or may not choose to reconcile or rebuild with the person that you're forgiving, whether or not you're forgiving them. So before starting the 5 steps to forgiveness, I want to change the narrative by changing the word. Personally, I believe it helps to, instead of using the term forgiveness, let's replace it with either understanding, compassion, mercy, and or love. So first and foremost, when it comes to showing others understanding, mercy, compassion, etc., aka forgiveness, it would help to make a list of the people who have hurt you deeply enough to warrant the effort to give them the gift of your compassion. So you can do this by asking yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, how much pain do I have regarding the way this person treated me? 1 being the least pain, but still significant enough to justify putting the work in to show them compassion and understanding, and 10 involving the most amount of pain or devastation and hurt and so forth. Then order the people on this list from the least painful to the most painful, and start with the least painful person or situation. So what you want to do is very simply, you create a list and you say, okay, my father was an alcoholic and he hurt me this way, or my boss did A, B, and C and he hurt me this way. And on a scale from 1 to 10, rate how they hurt you. Once you're done with that list, where you have the person who hurt you the least and up until the person who hurt or betrayed you the most, then you start working on the process of forgiving these people in order. And as you're writing that list, more people are going to come up. I mean, this could be an endless list. So number one, ask yourself how this person's offense negatively impacted your life. Consider how you and your trust of others may have changed as a result of their offense. Recognize what happened was not okay, and allow yourself to feel any negative emotions that come up. This is why they always say, in order to heal it, you need to feel it. You can be very frank in saying, what so-and-so did sucked and hurt me deeply. You know, the only way to heal it is to feel it. Ask yourself these questions about the person who has hurt you. This is step number 2. Ask yourself these questions about the person who has hurt you. 1, what was life like for this person while growing up? This is for the person who offended you. What wounds did they suffer from others that could have made them more likely to hurt themselves, which in turn hurt you? What kinds of extra pressures or stresses were in this person's life at the time they offended you? Now, keep in mind, these questions are not meant to excuse or condone, but rather just simply to better understand the violator's area of pain and those areas that make them vulnerable and simply human. Keep in mind, to violate another, the offender must first disrespect and violate themselves. If somebody has betrayed you, 9 times out of 10, they've betrayed themselves first, and then they betrayed you. 3, try to categorize the pain that they caused you so that you do not end up throwing the pain back onto the person who offended you, or even toward unsuspecting others, or even towards yourself. How many times do, we're at the shopping center and somebody bumps into us and they don't say, I'm sorry. And so now we're annoyed and we pass that, disrespect or offense onto someone else. So when we're emotionally wounded, we tend to displace our pain onto others because hurting people hurt people. And just side note, as much as you are rightfully enraged with the people who have betrayed you, they are more than likely suffering tremendous ongoing guilt, shame, and pain. It's just something to know. So unless someone is a sociopath, they are rarely without feeling. And even if their ego prevents them from admitting it, odds are they're feeling remorse for what they did on some level. Again, even if they don't verbalize it. 4, when you feel your spirit, your soul, your gut, whatever moves you, nudging you to make strides in the direction of compassion, make a decision to empower yourself by extending some understanding and or mercy toward the person who has hurt you. We can give our offender full and complete compassion or understanding or mercy, cold turkey, wiping the slate completely clean, and some people can, or just partial mercy. Let me start with understanding their childhood. Let me start with understanding the stress they were going through. Again, doesn't excuse or condone. You're just coming from a place of understanding where they were coming from, which got them into the place where they disrespected themselves, in return violating you. The size of the steps here are less important than actually taking a step. Whether you do this grand clean sweep or whether you just start to understand where they're coming from, it really doesn't matter which one. What matters is that you're actually making a step forward. When we offer mercy, we are deliberately trying to reduce anger, resentment, vengeance, etc. toward the person, and instead offer them understanding, kindness, respect, generosity, or even love. Number 5 in the steps to the healing journey, and this is something that many people find difficult to do, but it's imperative for the healing process, is to find meaning and purpose in what you have experienced. For example, as people suffer from injustices of others, they often realize that they themselves become more sensitive to others' pain. Then in turn, they can give them a sense of purpose towards helping others who are hurting. It also may motivate you to work towards preventing future injustices of a similar kind. Keep in mind that if we learn from our pain, we pay a tuition. If we choose not to learn from any lessons of our pain, we pay a fee. Once you're on your journey to showing compassion and mercy to those you have offended or violated, you continue on to the next person on your list, onto the person who hurt you the most. Now, before start brainstorming all those around you who have offended you, I would ask that you first put yourself at the top of that list. Think of all the times throughout your own life where you hurt or betrayed yourself. We cannot give to others what we do not have to give. And so many times we are keeping unforgiveness, or not showing people mercy, or not showing people understanding, or not loving other people when they hurt us, because we never gave ourselves any of that same mercy. We never gave ourselves that compassion. We never gave ourselves that understanding or that self-love, and we don't have that to give to others. So a few last points to ponder before concluding this class. Number one, when we find it difficult to offer compassion or understanding or mercy to others, often it is because we're not living in the present. And instead, we're putting more importance on the past. We give a good portion of our energy and attention grieving about, quote, the good old days that are gone forever as the reason why we can't be happy or fulfilled today. And there's a reason why our windshield is much bigger than our rearview mirror. What's ahead of us is far more important than what's behind us. Our todays are far more important than our yesterdays. 2, consider and jot down all the benefits of showing understanding, mercy, and compassion. There are many personal benefits, whether it's career benefits, marital benefits, parental benefits, spiritual benefits, physical benefits, and so on. 3, realize that we're all human and imperfect. Maybe we wouldn't hurt the people we love in the same way they hurt us, but we've certainly hurt others nonetheless in our own way. Remember the times that you were forgiven by others. 4, lastly, make a conscious and deliberate decision to move yourself from the victim to the victor position by giving others the gift of your mercy. It's not letting somebody slide. Forgiveness is not letting somebody get away with somebody. It's you putting yourself in the victor position to give yourself a gift, your gift of understanding, mercy, compassion, which when doing so, will take away the power of the person who offended you and put the power back to you, because you're giving them something.